out with some Matthew Henson Elementary School alumni, including William White, Gordon Wilder, Derek Boyd, Kenny Parker, and Mr. Irvin Noor, aka Buggy. These are cats I grew up with in West Baltimore. We went to Matthew Henson Elementary School even when I was living in East Baltimore. I was catching the bus all the way across town, catching the number 13. It had to be like 1970, 1972, catching that number 13 all the way across North Avenue to North and Pulaski. Those were the good old days. You could let your kids catch the bus and not worry about them getting snatched. Many thank yous to our sponsors, Mr. Billy Murphy, Bishop Barry, Joe Mann's Awards, Next Phase Cafe, Michael Haney. We have a couple of events coming up. As a matter of fact, I should tell you, I'm going on television tomorrow and getting to share some thoughts on our upcoming Black Wall Street event. So we have one, just set one last night. Let's see how to get my bearing. The day is the 22nd, no, the 25th. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong month. So there we go. All right, I'm straight now. Our next event is August 12th, Friday, August 12th. We'll be back in New York City. This is our 10th year of doing Black Wall Street and our business events in New York City, specifically Harlem. Our first event in New York City, I should note, was at the United Nations. We did the Be More News Global Forum on Women's Empowerment. And I'll never forget it because it was the first time I got a chance to take both of my children and my godson out of state. We went to New York City. I remember my mom's first took me to New York City. I was about 10 or younger. New York City. We went to Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. And my cousins still live in Brooklyn, on East 94th Street by Brookdale Hospital. So we got the Black Wall Street, August 12th, New York City. And so last night we just booked, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We just booked the Black Business Month celebration or recognition, forgive me, not a celebration, because when you think about the state of Black businesses, there's a lot to celebrate, but the elders say that we are recognizing August as National Black Business Month. We're recognizing it. He said, if we keep recognizing, this is Mr. Walter Edwards, New York City. He said, if we keep recognizing it, then soon we'll be able to celebrate it. But he's not pleased with where we are. You got to understand, Mr. Walter has been an advocate for Black businesses beginning in New York City, probably as long as I've been alive. And he is one of the giants that I go to for advice, for wisdom, especially in the realm of Black business. So August 22nd, we're going to have our Black Business Month recognition, and it'll be down at Darker Than Blue. We have Ricky Smith coming. If you're looking to do business, and the theme is, let me slow down. The theme is doing business with the city and state. And so if you have a business and you want to do business with the city or the state, good morning, Rico. Rico, don't be discouraged. Rico and the man. I know it's Chico and the man, right? So if you want to learn how to do business with the city, with the state, if you want to get your business out at the airport, it is not an impossible thing. Let me say this. If there's one thing, and they're going to ask me this tomorrow, that I want for our people, it's business. I want us to get better control over the $1.5 trillion in annual disposable income. We put anybody in business. We make any business succeed. Black people, We make any business succeed. We even make businesses succeed when we know they don't even like us. I don't know how many stories I've heard about the boot with the tree on it that everybody wears. Yes, I have worn. I don't know how many references we have heard to the Klan. I don't know how many times we've heard the story about these non-black designers who got something slick to say out there about black people. We keep them all in business. Without us, there is no business, pretty much. We got to control those dollars. We got to start, my friend Calvin Watkins, he said, we got to buy black until it hurts. I keep it on my desk. See? He said, we got to buy black until it hurts. That's what we got to do. We got to support our own business. We can make or break anything. We make or break any election. I said it. We make or break. In Maryland, we make or break any election. Do y'all realize we got two blacks who are going to be in statewide position as the governor and the attorney general? I mean, we got to go through the general election, but it's a 2-1 Democratic state. Ain't nobody beating a Democrat worthy of their salt. Westmore came in and did the damn thing, raised more money than anybody, than everybody, had better connections, better organization than the competition. Everybody was saying franchise race, franchise. I wrote it down. I wrote down those people who said it's franchise to lose. Francho won't lose. Francho won't lose. Francho got mashed like mashed potatoes. Black people, believe in yourself. I don't like this. I don't love your own damn people. I remember my daddy said, and look, when we had these discussions about black and white, I'm only giving you my unapologetically black perspective. That's my book. Make sure you get a copy of it. That's one of them. I can't speak for white America. I'm not white. I know there's some good white people. I don't think there's enough good white people, though. Because if there were, then Donald Trump would have been locked up like they lock up black people. Oh, he the president. He the president. He is a traitorous criminal who does not know the Civil War is over, like Mr. Bob Bashir said. My East Side homie. Why is Trump free? Why? Because the insurrection is, and see, this is what white America is dealing with. We see it. We see it so plain. Oh my God, Donald Trump did this. So, what are we going to do? Are we going to lock him up? No, he's the president. We can't. You lock his ass up. Remove him. If he were black, you wouldn't have no problem shooting him down. That's the disparity in this country. You see a black person, you swear they're doing wrong, and you shoot them down. Don't ask no questions. Shoot first, ask questions later. Donald Trump, oh, look at white privilege on display. Look at it. Look at it. He does no wrong. Not Donald Trump. He does no wrong. He does no wrong. Yes, he did. He should be facing a firing squad. Our ancestors helped build this country. And we don't like it. We don't like people like that. Yeah, you got the right to do whatever you want. But when you cause disruption over here on these shores that our ancestors fought and died for, that our ancestors died building, and have some little twerp come along and disrupt the world and get all of the radical white people in a tizzy fit because now they're worrying about, oh, the blackening of America. Come on, man. You don't own nothing. This is our country. You say our means our, not yours, not mine, ours. Some people don't want to share, though. Some people wouldn't share with Jesus Christ. They want somebody to help them. Somebody be a blessing to them. Yeah, it is. Governor Westmore. Get used to it. Governor Moore. I was thinking over the weekend how the Moors ran Portugal and Spain for 700-800 years. The Moors. Now the Moors are running Maryland. What about Republican running for Governor Kelly Schultz? That is Governor Hogan picked. Hogan gained a lot of support in Black Baltimore. Are there any Black folks supporting? Oh, Kelly gone. Kelly gone, Monica. Kelly lost to Dan Cox, Trump's little brother. Well, hand up.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, loud and clear. How was your weekend? Can't see you all that clearly, but I know it's you. I know your voice. Like your walk. I know your walk all the way across town. I see you anywhere. I know you. What's up, Murphy? Home? How you feel?
I'm good. I'm good. Had a great weekend. Campaign season is over. I think that's what made it great. We weren't actually out actively campaigning for the weekend.
Okay. So what'd you do?
How was your weekend, Donnie?
Mine was good. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Okay. I had a great weekend. Hung out with some classmates from the first, second grade. Got a bad connection, bro. You want to go out and come back in?
Yeah, now I can't hear you.
Yeah, go out.
Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, I had a great weekend. Got a chance to hang out with those school cats. Yeah, Monica, Schultz is done. Dan Cox will be running against Dan Moore. And Governor Hogan, I don't know what to say about him. I don't know what to say about Governor Hogan. Hogan got beat in his home state by Trump. See, they should have G-checked Trump some time ago. And to Hogan's credit, he stood his ground. He never wavered. He always told you that Trump was a butthole. And they had no problem telling you. Mike Randolph down in Tampa, what it is, Ward. Baltimoreans who have gone to other states to try Will again. Hey, Will, that better?
Good morning, Donnie. I hope we have a better connection now.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a delay. So what's going on in your world?
All is well. We just still trying to do some great work in Park Heights.
What's the big issue in Park Heights?
It's an accountability issue.
You want to explain?
That's the biggest issue we have. And I mean accountability across the board for development, money, all of those things. We have a huge accountability issue.
What can be done about it?
New leadership.
Like who?
Period. Well, I think there has to be some changes. One, at the city council level, I think that when you have had the same council person for the past 16 years, 18 years at this point.
Who is that? Sharon Green Middleton?
And we haven't seen any changes. Absolutely. So I think you have to start there, because if you knew that millions of dollars was going through your district and you didn't do anything or say anything about it or ask where it was, then you're part of the problem.
So this is the lady married to the union guy, right?
Yes.
Tom Perez had them unions. Did her husband back Tom Perez?
I'm not sure.
Tom Perez was making a move. How did Tom Perez look, Will? How did Tom Perez rise in the polls when nobody's seen them?
Well, a lot of it was, Obama's TV ads. When you put a commercial in there and you put in front of black people, Barack Obama, and he speaks highly of you, and then they look at the rest of the field and say, well, I don't even know the rest of these people. Well, that helps. Hey, Mike.
What can we do for Park
That's
Heights?
also playing on that plays on the ignorance of voters sometimes.
What do you want to see for Park Heights? You say new leadership. Who is that new leadership? We can start talking about the mayor's race next.
I'm not even going to say totally the mayor. I think that when we look at city council, and now we don't have just one city council person that represents the Park Heights community. We have two.
Who else?
Used to have three. We used to have three. So now we have two. But we also have 6 delegates and 2 senators that represent Park Heights as well. And we have a city council person that represents most of Southern Park Heights.
Who's the other council person?
I will say this though, Donnie. I haven't made a secret to a lot of people. What's that? The other person is Jesse Slifer, who represents the 5th district. My concern primarily is in mostly. What's that?
That's the one with the all Jewish State Central Committee ticket.
Yep.
So when we do an all black ticket, we don't want to hear nothing from nobody.
We won't
Not
hear
a
anything.
damn word.
We won't hear anything. And I think that's a long time coming. I think we should have been doing that a long time ago.
No, we want to
together our own slaves.
They my friends. This is my friend. This is my friend. All the while they trying to vote you off the island, son.
Well, they're trying to, sons and daughters, because they're also trying to, Joe Carter doesn't realize that they're doing the same thing to her. It's just eventual. So where we look at opportunities, they've already seen the opportunity and they planned it 8 years ago. What we do is we're living for the moment, and we got to live for the future.
What did Lisa Gladden do for black people up there when she was a state senator?
I think the only thing that she assisted us with, I'll say this, was she got a positive vote on the liquor bill in Park Heights. That was about it. As far as, a lot of that was the reason that I ran against her, because I didn't see any progress. I didn't see anything that was, and I just don't like speaking ill of her because she's ill, but, and I didn't.
Hey man, our
even in our
community
race.
is ill. We got respect for people's health and all of that. But, when you step up to do a job.
But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to what
we all
have asked for,
y'all stuff. They either doing the damn job or they're not. Period.
Nothing. If she was doing a great job, I wouldn't have ran against her.
You don't need people sucking up to the Democratic Party, the same Democratic Party that includes Marianne Lasante. You remember her up in Harford County? She called Prince George's County the N-word district. So Democrats got a long way to go in my book.
There's a lot to do. We've seen Democratic leadership in this city for the last, 50 so years. And look at our city. Look at the condition of our city from an aesthetic standpoint and from a mental standpoint.
And it's racist.
From a socioeconomical standpoint.
And it's racist as hell. White people can walk through my alley at 3 o'clock in the morning chasing drugs.
It's
and nothing happens to them. I can't even spray water on them. But you let me go over there to Bolton Hill and creep up in somebody's yard at 2, 3 a.m. and they will lock my black hind parts up quicker than a Baltimore speed camera. Why is that? Why is that?
Well, Baltimore's always been this has always been one of the most segregated cities in America.
Because black people have been so strong here numerically.
Well, it's also, we've allowed people to do what we've allowed them to do. You know, they only say that people will do what you allow them to do. And the sad part about it is that in a city that is predominantly black, and we've had mostly black leadership in the city, for the conditions that we live in is atrocious. It's an atrocity in itself to have as much black leadership as we have and have our people live the way that we live.
Damn shame. You're right. Where the new recreation centers at? Have you seen them? Where the new recs at?
I think they're beyond that.
They all bitching about the crime. Where are the new rec centers at? Or what's the excuse?
I think we're beyond the recreation centers, though, Donnie. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, though, Donnie. I think we're beyond the culture of these young people is beyond recreation centers, right? And so when we are facing, what we're dealing with is a culture. You know, when they're 14 years old, we went through this problem 10 years ago. We knew 10 years ago that when these kids turned 14 years old, there was nothing at a recreation center for them because they took all the programs out for kids that were 14 to 18. So we knew that 10 years ago, there was nothing out in there.
We got all of these educational experts who are clearly dumb as crap.
Right.
Because
it don't take a whole lot of degrees. It don't take a whole lot of degrees to realize that our children are hurting, and they've been hurting for a long time. So this is the result of pain. This is the result of a decade and decades of pain. When we had the crack epidemic back in the 80s, early 80s, right? And then we had the explosion of, you know, the impact of Martin O'Malley locking up 150,000 young black men in the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, these are the results of a lot of these things. These are now their children and their grandchildren.
You know what a Negro told me? Katie O'Malley ain't locked them people up. There was nothing she could do. Kind of like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton ran for president, forgetting about Bill Clinton and the omnibus crime bill of '94, and she paid for it. She paid for her husband's. They weren't mistakes. They were misdeeds. Misdeeds that disaffected our community. They went home and lived their lives, but our people had to go to central booking, pay $5 for a phone call. How are people locked up gonna pay more for a phone call? What insanity, what manner of evil is that? Little girl want to talk to her daddy, she got to pay $20 to talk to her daddy because you done boosted the price of the phone. That's how they do our people, man.
Well, that was a part of the whole correctional system and all the money that they made during the correctional system, from the uniforms that the guys wore to the phone calls, to the phone system, all of those things. But nobody accounts for all of those things because they think that it makes it convenient for us while we're locked up, when not understanding that it's not convenient to be locked up.
So let me go to this question Monica got. And well, I know where your thoughts are. You're going to vote black because you got common sense.
No, I'm going to vote right. I'm going to vote right.
You going to vote what?
Right. R-I-G-H-T. And the thing is, not that I've seen a whole lot of white leadership in this city that has done right by us either, but I do know that we need to have black representation in the city. We just need to have the right black representation in the city. It doesn't have to be all Democratic. It doesn't have to be, all young or all old or whatever they say. It just has to be right. It has to be people that understand our city and knows our city. When I see a whole lot of transplants come in this city and do absolutely nothing, from the police commissioner to the housing commissioner on down, I see a lot of that. And so when you don't know our city, how can you represent a city that you don't know and understand? If you don't know crime, how can you fix crime? If you don't understand the origins of crime in our city, how can you fix it? So if you don't know the alleys off Pitcher Street, You know, if you don't know those streets, if you know where don't know where Bloom Avenue is or Bloom Street, if you don't know where Rosedale is, if you don't know where Bloomingdale is, if you don't know where all of these streets are in Chester Street, and if you don't know where all of these little streets are, where all of this stuff happens, then you already lost when you got here, and it'll take you 3 months, 3 years maybe to figure out the way. Why I was led this way. Those of us that grew up down in Sandtown, down in Murphy Homes, down in Lexington Terrace, up in Park Heights, over in East Baltimore, off Bond Street, go all of those places. And if you don't understand this city, you're not going to fix it. There's no way you can fix it. When you talk about housing, when you talk about crime, because they're all interrelated. People leave, and the thing is, they blame us for leaving the houses vacant. And I said, do you understand that we couldn't go past North Avenue when we were kids? So who you think owned the property? And a lot of the people, a lot of the vacant houses that you see in Baltimore are still owned by the same people that owned them in the 80s. This is not new. So what the city hasn't done with the vacant houses in Baltimore is they haven't said, you know what, we're going to allow y'all to just take them. And so what we're doing now in Park Heights, we're going to take them. If you own a vacant house in Park Heights and it's been vacant for 5 years, we're taking your house. And I'm telling you right now, we're taking your house, and we'll deal with the consequences later, period.
Well, that's how these white squatters are doing.
They've been doing it forever. They've used the law.
Like in my life. Can't just move up in the house.
They use the rule. They've used the rule of adverse possession. There's a law called adverse possession. Look it up. It's a statute. It's a statute called adverse possession. And what they've done, they've taken property. They've been doing it since the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And they take these properties and they hold them for 20 years, and they can transfer a title after 20 years. We just haven't used the law because we ain't patient enough to hold a property for 20 years. So we're going to take their property using the same statute and the same premise that they did back in the 70s, and we're going to take their property and let them see how it feels. And we'll deal with the consequences later. But what we can't do is allow them to live in our neighborhoods and to occupy our neighborhoods. Basically, this is an occupation. When you own vacant houses in our property, this is an occupation. You are keeping our people down and oppressing our neighborhoods by not taking care of your property. So we're going to say,
since we got a new state's attorney, I want to see a crackdown on these people walking on through my alley at 2 o'clock at night, all hours of the night. See, that's the crystal meth. We haven't done a show on it, but my friends out on the West Coast tell me that crystal meth keep people high for 3, 4, 5 days straight.
Yeah. They become zombies, and they walk around for 3 to 5 days. You know how long it takes, how much you have to get high to be up for 3, 4, 5 days straight, no sleep. It is a huge part of our mental health crisis. But I will say this: I never seen
a dump
so many.
Will, they crapping on the sidewalk? On the sidewalk, Will. Dropping needles everywhere.
I've never seen,
everywhere.
I've never seen so many white people, and it's not that white people can't be in Baltimore. I just never seen them in our neighborhoods, as prevalent as it is now, and they're not there for the right reasons. They're only there
unemployed like a
to get high, and that used to be just a Pigtown play. That was a Pigtown play. That was never Uptown. That was Pigtown. And people that know,
So who the police commissioner gonna blame now?
He always should have blamed himself. In my estimation, he should have never been here. In my estimation, he should have never been here. He was never the guy that was going to fix crime in Baltimore. He was the guy that they used to implement the consent decree, but he was never the guy that was going to stop crime here. He was never that guy. It's not what he was known for. He wasn't known as a crime fighter.
How focused was Pew on the city? Kind of hard to be focused on the city when you're selling books out the trunk of your car.
I mean, that goes back to a lot of our failed leadership, and I will say this in full disclosure, I do consider Kathy Pugh somewhat of a friend, but I can't agree with. I mean, just because I like you doesn't mean I agree with your policy. And if your policies hurt our people, how friendly is that relationship?
I still can't get over the press conference with the baby clothes. Oh well. So here we are, the kids looking at us like we buck wild crazy and got no damn common sense. Do you feel like we failed these young people? Do you feel like these young people are justified in their disdain for us, calling us
Every
old
day,
ass sellout?
every day. I talk to a lot of these kids every single day. They feel like that. Those that know me know that I own a pro football team, and I talk to these guys that are 18 to 25 that they say they can't get off the street. But I talk to these guys every day, and so we see exactly what it is. Their pain that they've gone through, that they feel like they have no one they can go to, that they feel they have nobody they can talk to, nobody's listening to them, nobody's um, doing anything to represent their interests. And they're not all bad. It's just that when they're misguided, if you don't change the trajectory, you're still misguided. You're still going in the wrong direction. That's the clear definition of misguided.
Well, I want you to lighten the mood. Tell me about that lady. You took me to a house on Ricestown Road around Cold Spring, and she had a like a youth camp in her basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who was she?
And she's actually no longer with you. You're talking Miss yeah, she's actually Viola Bell. She's actually no longer with us. And Miss Bell was actually one of my mentors. And it was programs like that. And we saw 37, to 40 service providers in our community that are still doing great work. I praise people like Miss Glenisha Baz, with Smart Steps, who now started with one facility at Malcolm X and now has like 9, 10 facilities across the city. I look at all those people that are doing great work in our neighborhood. So I don't want to make people think that everything is bad and everything's not so dormant. Everything's not just bad, just negative. Everything's not negative. We see a lot of great people doing a lot of great work in our neighborhood. And we once had 33,000 people in Park Heights. Now we have about 28,000. And out of those 28,000 people, about 12,000 of those people are young. And I mean 18 and under. And there's a lot of positive things that are happening. The thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that everything that we're doing that is positive is sustainable. And we can't count on government to do it. And that's the one thing we have never done is count on government to do it. We've never taken one dime of public money ever since 1999, since our organization's been around. Never got a grant, never got any public money, never got any financing, never got any racetrack impact funds or slots revenue. So if we've been able to sustain since 1999 and support some of the organizations that we do in Park Heights, why can't we do that across the city? And if there were millions of dollars available, we could have done more. We could have helped more people. We could have sponsored more children. We could have saved more lives.
Well, I was up your way Saturday on Rogers Avenue. My daughter and I went to Max's. Oh my God, 3603 Rogers Avenue. I'm so happy for Max. He was down on Ricestown at Belvedere and it closed. The pandemic. But Max is a tenacious entrepreneur. He did not give up. He did not give up. And I like this spot even better. Look like he has a little more elbow room. But Max's Caribbean Kitchen, listen to me, folks. I submit to you, he's got the best jerk chicken on planet Earth. I know I didn't endorse some other chicken spots while Max was gone.
Right.
But Max is back. Now I'm still gonna go to the other places. I love Ricky Chin. It's just down the hill on Pennsylvania Avenue. But before I met Ricky Chin, I knew Max from a Royal Maroon, and then they're of course connected to Blue Caribbean. What?
Well, you can't get Caribbean food unless you come to Park Heights. All the Caribbean food is in Park Heights. Everybody knows that. You can't get Caribbean food without coming to Park Heights. Dr. Simon won't let me say anything. Dr. Simon won't let me say anything different.
Look, when my problem is when the Preakness happens, I don't think those businesses get a fair shake. I think the city screws up their business on a day that they should be making as much money, if not more, than everybody. And with a mayor from Park Heights, I need that to happen. I need that.
That is absolutely. That's exactly what needs to happen. Is the economic impact of the Preakness on the surrounding businesses is abysmal. And one of the things that had not happened, and I mean over decades, and I know they tried to do some things this year, would try to be more inclusive with some of us, but the businesses that exist there still haven't benefited to the full extent that they should. There are 696 businesses in Park Heights. And so they need to be the ones to make to have a lot of that benefit. And if you're going to exclude them, that was the point of the Racetrack Impact Fund, was for those impacted businesses and community, so that when they lost money, you could then reimburse them for money that they lost. And so some of those things never happen. But going forward, we need to make sure that they do. And that's what the new leadership needs.
You don't need to be an elected official representing that neighborhood, giving that result. Knowing that right there, you should just go straight to the harbor and jump in the damn water. All of that Preakness money come up there, and the black businesses up there are getting crumbs. You should take your elected hind parts down to Pier 5 and jump in the damn water.
And this has been allowed. The thing is, like I say, people will do what you allow them to do. And I mean, our elected officials have been allowed to be comfortable. And I think it's time we make a lot of them uncomfortable.
Throw that hind parts out of there. Okay, Will. Hey, Will, how can people get in touch?
I mean that from a political standpoint.
How can people get in touch with you?
People can reach me directly at 443-615-0549. You can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. You'll see just Will Hanna. I'm always open. My line is always open. If you just need some encouragement or just to talk about community issues and processes, I'm always here.
Good deal. Thank you, big brother, for joining us this day. My name's Donnie Glover, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a good day. Good morning, world. Thanks again, Will.
Thank you.